right here and right now. This officially go down in the books. This is episode number 256. You could jump on board 247-365. It is easy to get on the Unfiltered Revolution. Artist formerly known as Twitter, X if you will, at Casey Stern. Give me a follow. Get up into the top in the bio and get on board the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, tell all your friends, and watch all the content. 255 and 256 episodes deep. And of course, where most of you are, equal opportunists are we. And that would be where you get your better podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else you get them. We get the Unfiltered band, and we're thankful for that. Thankful for you wherever you are here on, as I do this, a Wednesday, March 6th, as we continue to get closer and closer to the open of the season. Big-time free agents still available. Your thoughts on where they sign and your comments on what I talk about each and every day on the show. Want to hear them? Get on me at Casey Stern and let me know what you think. I'll tell you this. We get a chance to give our thoughts here in large part. Let's get this out of the way to our good friends at BetOnline. They're your number one source here for all of your sports needs. Latest odds, matchup reports, baseball, basketball, boxing, golf, and more. They continue to be the fastest and easiest way to get your wagers, live betting, favorite casino and card games. They're all available, people, right now, right from your phone. So do yourself a favor. Get over to the website. Use your mobile device. Sign up today. Get in on all the action. Remember to use the promo code BELIEVE. It's BLEAV. You'll get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It is BetOnline where the game starts, and I get started here as the woe-filled offseason and the what the heck WTF offseason of the Boston Red Sox takes yet another turn, an unfortunate one for a good dude in Lucas Giolito, as the news comes out that it looks like he could miss the entirety of the season. He was expected to be the opening day starter. Looks like we're going to be dealing with a UCL issue that will keep him out for the entirety of 2024. As of now, when I do this, still reports and waits to be seen, and getting second looks at all of that before we get the official word on what this is going to be. But he was one of only 3 free agent signings for the Red Sox over the course of the entire winter. Liam Hendricks, who will miss most, if not all, of this season after Tommy John himself, and Cooper Criswell. That's it. That's it. Netflix, come on down. Give me the documentary. Who needs Love is Blind when you've got the Red Sox management seeming to be the same? 3 times in the last 4 seasons in last place. And poor AC Alex Cora is sitting there trying to make the best that he can. And they've got some solid pieces, and they got some bright spots and some young talent. But here's a guy trying to make chicken salad out of the other kind of chicken. Because the Red Sox, apparently in their ownership, have forgotten how much money they have. They've forgotten what market they are in. A market I've lived in, a market I've covered. I was there every day down the stretch in 2004. I remember what that city is like. And when you sit there and you sit and think about that religion kind of, that nature of when you think of like Friday Night Lights in football, where, there's signs on the windows that we're closed, there's football tonight. There is, no offense to the Celtics, no offense to the Patriots, no offense to the Boston Bruins, a great baseball town, one of the best sports towns, overall in the country. No doubt about it. In the world, there is no doubt about it. But when the Red Sox are good and relevant, there is nothing like it. And if you're a Red Sox fan, your head must be coming apart at the seams, because this is absolutely ridiculous. How is Jordan Montgomery, where you've got the ties and you know that there's interest mutually, how is that not done already before this? Because guess what? Then you wouldn't have lost even more leverage now with the desperation that they're going to smell, and that scent of desperation on the other side when they know you don't have Giolito either. When you should have had Montgomery anyway, even with him, and been already locked that up and had Monty in at camp. And what he could do, a guy who's a winner, a guy who's just won, a guy who performs at a high level. And even if you're not going to be great this season, and we know that's not the story of the Netflix season for the Red Sox, you lock him up to a 4 or 5 year deal, whatever it's going to end up being, with whatever incentives and opt-outs going to be in there. If you're worried about that consistency sticking out age-wise for the next however many years, You certainly could be good by then. I mean, when do you plan on being good? And this is what happens to teams when they get so far behind the eight ball that they get stuck in that muffin tops in that middle of, I don't know whether or not I'm sitting there trying to hang out with the winners or I'm trying to tuck myself back in because I'm not ready just yet. And that's what this is all about. Look, I get it when teams say, not outwardly, but to themselves with the way they handle things, I'm not going to go full throttle because I got no chance to be that team. I've talked about the Mets this year. It's a different scenario than Boston, but there's nothing they were going to do with the way the roster is constituted to go compete with Atlanta now. And Atlanta can compete every year. You got to figure out a way to compete every year. So I understand that. Right? Why do I want to win 83 games versus 73 games? There's no difference. I got to get ready to win 93 and 103 games, and there's value to that. But when you're the Boston Red Sox and you've got that ownership and you're in that division and you're in that city and you finish in that spot 3 of the last 4 years, what the hell are you doing? It makes no sense. Mark Feinsand, when he was on, and go check it out, last episode of this podcast, telling me he called it the greatest mystery of the offseason. And he's not wrong, people. He is not wrong. This Netflix documentary, if you like Schadenfreude and you, getting joy at the expense of others, you are going to enjoy this. If you're not a Red Sox fan, if you're a Yankee fan, you are saddling up for Netflix. Give it to me. Let's go. But if you're a Red Sox fan, this is a nightmare. And the Giolito news, unfortunate for him, unfortunate for the team, but now it just continues to accentuate what a nightmare this team truly is right now. Again, unfortunately, considering I still will say, and I've known him a long time, biased or not, that they got one of the best managers in the sport. And maybe he is the next on his way out, because who would want to be there when you don't know what's in the GPS? I've talked about this for years and years covering this sport. You can deal with being a fan of a bad team, all right? If you know what's in the GPS, put yourself in a passenger seat of the car, right? Go back to the days of Google Maps and think about how exciting it is now. They didn't even just sit in traffic. You got 2 hours and 47 minutes to go. And oh my God, I can't believe it's going to take so long to freaking get wherever we are going, that you could sit there and you could watch 246, 245, 244, 243, and on down. You can deal with that. If you're sitting in that car and you got traffic and bumpers and brake lights all in front of you, you don't know where the hell you're going. You don't know what exit you're turning off of. You're looking and flipping those pages that you just printed out, and you don't know how long it's going to take. It is way harder. And that is right now being a fan of the Boston Red Sox. Because I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what's in the GPS. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the direction is. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. It is unconscionable. It makes no sense to me. And again, like, you want to tell me, like, you don't want to go spend, $500 million in an offseason because we got to do this the right way. Do it the right way. But what you've been doing, you haven't been going any way. You haven't been doing anything. And now Giolito is gone and out of that mix as well. It is difficult to imagine the plight of a Red Sox fan right now. Want to hear from you. Drop your comments, obviously, in Twitter, X, if you will, whatever you decide to call it, either one, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And get to me, of course, if you're doing this on the YouTube side, in the comments there as well. Also, a couple other notes I want to touch on. One, Sonny Gray looks like he could miss opening day. Obviously, it looked like he was all lined up for that mild right hamstring strain that he suffered in spring training. These things happen. People, talk about your spring training is too long. It doesn't matter how many outings you have. Doesn't matter when injury is going to come. It's unfortunate to see. I love this signing. I think it's going to pan out big time. I think Sonny Gray is a flat-out winner and a guy who really will add to the staff. And remember, when you look at the Cardinals, at the beginning, we were sitting there thinking, geez, all that money for Lance Lynn and then Kyle Gibson, I'm not sure. But then when the Gray signing happened, and you realize, and you look at those three in totality, you look at what they did to add innings and to take away from the taxing, the bullpen that they had a year ago, and we'll see how all of that plays out. Waiting still to see. I mentioned Montgomery before, how the Blake Snell situation plays out. Scott Boras, I know last couple of days, recent comments about, more teams being interested in all of that. I don't know why teams are going to budge. If Scott is, I like Scott, if he's waiting for some massive injury and then team to get desperate, he may be waiting a very, very long time. Because it seems like the teams that would make sense and would be interested, like the Yankees, are, as Mark Feinstein said in our last pod that we did a couple of days ago, dormant right now in terms of conversations and discussions. I mean, the thought of him ending up on a team like the Angels or some other team that can't win, has no chance to win, not good for Blake Snell, who wants to be a winner. And, we're still going back, I'm sure he is, on 2020, when he's sitting there wishing he was going out there for a 6th, a 7th, an 8th, and a 9th inning to force a Game 7 of a World Series. Well, he's never going to get back there if he doesn't go to a team that can win. And the teams that can win right now don't feel that desperation. They are set already for the season. They are not sitting there trying to give extra years to a Blake Snell, who probably needs to, and Scott probably needs to, like in the Bellinger deal, go ahead and give in a little bit and come back a little bit and find, whether it's with opt-outs or creativity, ways to have the client feel good, in this case Snell, but also to have the team feel like they're not overpaying because they just don't feel like there's a need. The agent and player don't have the hand, if you will, in this relationship right now. Give me a hand, hit the likes, get on the comments if you're on the YouTube side, get me Twitter X. I'm curious, if you are a Red Sox fan, how are you dealing with what you are watching? And will you make sure not to pay your $19.99 or whatever it is for Netflix every month, just so it's out of sight, out of mind? Delete it from the account, get it off, get the app off, get it off the smart TV, because who the hell is watching this show? Hopefully you're watching this show. It is Unfiltered, in the books.